Well, today is July 2nd, 2022, and you're looking at Reading and Northern, a former Reading Company T1-484-2102, sitting at Reading Outer Station, awaiting its 9 o'clock departure for Jim Thorpe. This is the first time I've seen this engine in operation since July of 1988, when 2102 performed on Andy Muller's old Blue Mountain and Reading Railroad between Temple and South Hamburg. It was a rail fan weekend, and 425 was there, the 462, as well as PRRE8s and some Reading C630 and GP30 locomotives. She's a beauty. I saw her sister 2124 in Steamtown last week. I have a recording of this engine made in the early 60s, pulling out of Port Clinton with the whistle from the Baldwin demonstration locomotive 60,000 that's on display in Philadelphia in a museum. Well, today that's the new owner that's on the tender. But when that engine was delivered, it said Reading on the tender, or Reading Company. The Reading and Northern is quite a resurgent regional railroad that CEO Andy Muller, who is also a rail fan, put together. They have a robust freight business, as well as passenger excursion businesses. With this engine, the F7s, the 425, and they have some RDCs that they run. All these trains operate out of the Reading Outer Station, which is on a former Reading Company line that used to go to Pottsville, Pennsylvania, that I've traveled on a couple of times, going to Reading and Pottsville. Well, Reading is further south, but I did travel this line all the way to Pottsville from Reading Terminal, Philly, which is 93 miles. And you're looking at this tower that was built here at Reading Outer Station, which sure and heck looks like a Pennsylvania Railroad structure. Train leaves at 9, it's 8:38, and the train is already pretty packed. People are still boarding. I'm not gonna stay here to watch it leave, though. I'm gonna try to get ahead of it as best I can amongst this parade of foamers that I'm likely to see on the highway. Well, the first place I'm going to catch the 2102 on the chase is at the Reading and Northern headquarters. It's otherwise known as the Reading Blue Mountain and Northern. We're here at Port Clinton, Pennsylvania. What looks like a wide creek here at Port Clinton is actually the mighty Schuylkill River. If you float downstream far enough, it'll take you to downtown Philadelphia. And we're at the north end of the Port Clinton yard. In the distance, you can see the Port Clinton station. 2102 will be making a passenger stop here. Right here where the tracks cross over the Schuylkill River, which you see in the foreground, that smaller stream over there is the Little Schuylkill River, which starts here. And you can hear that beautiful Reading 6-chime whistle blowing in the Schuylkill River Valley. Engine is also equipped with a shrill freight whistle that the Reading used. It was here in a famous Semaphore Records recording back in 1962, I believe it was. The same Reading 2102 pulled out of here. It's a great recording if you ever get a chance to listen to it. He pulled out of here with the whistle from the Baldwin demonstration steam locomotive that's in a museum in Philadelphia, the number 60,000. Very unique sound, not like your typical Reading whistle. If you want to hear that great recording of the 2102 with the 60,000 whistle, it's on YouTube. Do a search for The Reading Rides Again. It's an old record album. That entire record album will play on YouTube. you'll hear some excellent steam and diesel recordings on it. In fact, you'll hear 2 diesel recordings at Reading Franklin Street, and the sequence immediately after the second diesel one is that 2102 recording here. All right, highball. Here he comes, he's pulling out of Port Clinton. Listen to him. I don't know what adjective you can use to describe that. We now moved ahead up to New Ringgold, Pennsylvania. The population of this town is swelling temporarily for this train. We've moved up to South Tamaqua. I was easily able to get ahead of this train with the faster Pennsylvania Route 895. got a chance to hear that freight whistle. Reading pretty much had two types. I think they had 5-chimer and 6-chimer passenger whistles and those shrill freight whistles. Now we move further down the line at Nesquehoning. To get here, you have to navigate through downtown Tamaqua, which is a stranglehold on traffic. But fortunately, the railroad takes a much more circuitous route to get from there to here. So I was easily able to beat the train. Now you can hear them coming with that freight whistle. Jim Thorpe is 4 miles away, the end of the line for him. Managed to get him coming into Jim Thorpe with the traffic that I'm stuck in. I was lucky enough to find a place to park as the Constance is backing up to the station here in this beautiful valley. It's one of the premier tourist attractions in the state of Pennsylvania, this town. It was named after a famous athlete, Jim Thorpe, who had his Olympic medals taken away because he played baseball and got paid for it. They took his medals away, but posthumously he got them back, thank goodness. He's backing up without the diesels. I guess he's just backing out of the station to park until he's ready to be towed. Well, here comes the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railroad train that runs regularly. It's got the F units today, supposedly. Those are the ones acquired by the Reading and Northern from the Norfolk Southern. Listen to that beautiful first generation General Motors engine. This is Broadway in beautiful downtown historic Jim Thorpe. Look at this place. This has really become a hot spot for tourism in the last 30-40 years. The town is surrounded by mountains. They call it the Switzerland of Pennsylvania. Well, here's a famous hotel here, Hotel Switzerland, with an equally popular Irish pub here called Molly Maguire's. It's a busy day here in town. Well, it's the 4th of July weekend. It's July 2nd to be exact. It's a 30-minute wait to get in there. Thank God I have a protein drink in the trunk of the car. These two houses are famous landmarks. Tamaqua was a big Lehigh Valley Railroad magnate. Magnate, not magnet. The view from the Tamaqua mansion, you have to climb up a little ways to get to it, is outstanding. And here's the stunning Tamaqua mansion. And here is the equally stunning Peter Packer mansion. As you can see, they were neighbors. Well, this building here in Jim Thorpe is probably the icon of the city. It's the old Central Railroad of New Jersey passenger depot. It was built in 1885. Prior to 1955, this town was called Mauchunk, and then they renamed it to Jim Thorpe. There's talk underway of renaming it Mauchunk once again. This is the terminal for the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway trains and the Reading and Northern excursions from Reading. Well, here's part of Reading and Northern's huge General Motors diesel fleet. Happily, that's what they have pretty much. SD40-2. Steam Excursion has a rather huge train crew. And this is part of the next Lehigh Gorge excursion, which departs at 1 o'clock in another 10 minutes. loud K5LA horn. And you can't beat it. It's Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, July 2nd, 2022. Steam, classic diesels, and EMDs. The action is not over yet. Those SD40-2s are coming. They cut off the 2102. And here at Jim Thorpe is the Lehigh River. As you'll note, the preponderance of rafters enjoying the flow here. Town Square by the railroad station is a pretty busy place. Here's the Carbon County Courthouse, which stands prominently in the city center. Anybody who doesn't think this is one of the prettier towns in Pennsylvania is brain dead. Here comes the steam engine backing up to his train at 202. I think they're having cab tours. I guess that's for patrons of the excursion. I don't know. Well, this is where I am now. A few miles upgrade from Jim Thorpe. I stayed in Jim Thorpe about as much as I could possibly take. The traffic and the crowds there were unbelievable. To pay $12 to park in a parking lot where I have to practically park in New Zealand just was ridiculous. I had to get out of there. I assume it's still chugging. I'm deaf. Unbelievable. Now in downtown Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, looking at the restored Tamaqua station, built by the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad back in 1874. It's now a station restaurant. Beautiful structure. Yes, Penelope, there are signals on this line. It's displaying an approach limited. Here he comes at 4:53. caught up to him at South Tamaqua. Passing all the should be able to beat him to New Ringgold. We're now in New Ringgold. Well, I didn't take a ride on the Reading, but I sure chased it today. Not bad for a guy who doesn't know the territory. Yeah, this is a nice town to get the train going by. And our last run-by of this fantastic locomotive will be at Hamburg, New York, at Muller Interlocking. No doubt it's named after the president of the railroad. He's getting close. It's almost 6 o'clock. He's switching back and forth between the shrill whistle and the passenger whistle. We'll stick around and see the protect engines. Shouldn't be too far behind. right, it's 6:33. We're back at Reading Outer Station, and I managed to get ahead of the 2102.
Keep it up, guys.
Right, 6:38. Andy Muller can be proud of this day. Train was packed, train ran flawlessly, and the weather was decent. No rain that was forecast.